Hello, my dear friends. This is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today from the holy city of Jerusalem, Israel. Sometimes in life we have to take a step back and take a look at where we've been, what we've been doing, and how it comes to grips with what we should be doing, possibly. I hate the word should, because you can't should do anything. You do it or you don't do it. But what we do is we have a situation where sometimes we have to look back and see how are we doing with what we have so far. For example, we step back and we look at the beginning of the Torah, and we talk about the way that Adam was created and all the things that Adam had and the reason he had so many of these things. And one of the most important things is we find that all these things that Adam had, we have today. Wow, what a surprise. Well, we have them because they're important, all of them. And the interesting thing is, if we use them properly, we're going to get much better use out of them. For example, if you don't walk very much and your legs get no exercise, they will atrophy. They will get to the point where they don't want to even walk anymore. They don't want to go anymore. And it's the same thing with any muscles in your body. It's also the same thing with your brain. I know it doesn't seem to fit together, but I want you to follow this for just a minute. The brain requires use in order to be able to go forward, think about new things, to grow, to do the things it was designed to do. However, for all of us, the last couple of years has been kind of remarkable in a way that we have been told what to do and by authority figures. We are not allowed to do what we wanted to do. If you do, authority figures said put on a mask, you put on a mask. They said get a vaccine, you got a vaccine. You did what you were told to do, and because of that, people get to a point where the brain also can atrophy because you're not thinking anymore. You're not thinking about what you're doing. You're not thinking about the fact that, and some people believe this and some people don't, that masks do nothing. Therefore, why should you wear them? Why should we bother by them? That's, again, it's up to you as to what you believe. You want to wear a mask? God bless you. Wear a mask. I don't care. You want to get a vaccine? Get a vaccine. I personally think that they're not designed to help, but that's my opinion. Therefore, I don't get them. But it's because I think about what they tell me, not just about what happens. So, for example, the vaccines. People have been getting the vaccines, the third vaccine, the fourth vaccine, and they've been getting more cases of people who've been testing positive for this ridiculous scamdemic because of it. And they did it why? Because they were told to do it. You just didn't think about the fact that the people who are getting the most shots were also the ones who are testing positive the most? Wouldn't that tell you that something is amiss here? Either the shots don't work or the tests don't work, or both. But if you don't think, you don't know that. We need to think. We need to use our brains, because if we don't, they too will atrophy. So we need to be able to make sure that we're thinking about what's going on, not just taking what somebody's telling us, shoving it down our throat, making us regurgitate it back to them. That's not a life. That's not why we were put here. Animals do that. Human beings do not do that. Human beings think about it. There are many uses for a lot of things. For example, please excuse me. Nuclear energy can be used to light up an entire city. Wow, that's amazing. What a unique thing it is. It can also be used to destroy an entire city or more. It depends on how it's used. How do we decide how it's used? Has to come from the brain up here. We're all now panicking about the Ukraine. Oh my gosh, Soviet Union attacked the Ukraine, not the Soviet Union, Russia attacked the Ukraine. And they did. But I want to bring to mind something that you might have forgotten about, a thing called Babi Yar. It was a place where the Ukrainians killed so many Jews that they literally filled up a whole ravine full of dead bodies. Okay? These are the people that you're feeling sorry for. Well, I say it's not a great thing to feel great about the fact that anybody has to die. The fact is, you could use that feeling, something that is much, much more important than this one right here. So it is what it is. And you're going to find this to be a very short war. Why? Because when you look at it, you can understand it. Look, a war gets fought like this. An army comes into a country, attacks, moves forward, attacks, moves forward, attacks. Look at how this one was. The army came in only a couple of small places, and then they shot miles and miles away, hundreds of miles away to get things. Now, it could be that they're just really bad marksmen, or it could be they're just shooting blindly. But if you have any sense of history at all, you know that's not typical of anything in Russia. You know there's a purpose. They did this and why they did it. The story is just beginning to come out right now, not on the main sleaze news, on regular news, on one that you could actually count on the fact that people actually researched it and are not just repeating a story to you that they've been told to tell you. The real news, which tells you what's going on. And you find out that there were, do you remember, let me see if you can remember this. Remember back to the Wuhan lab in China from where the scamdemic supposedly emanated? And it took how long to find that out? And how in the beginning when you said it, oh my gosh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Now when you say it, people say, I think you might be right. Well, I'll tell you what, if you think that's the only place that the deep state was playing around in China to do it for the world, and if you think that's the last time they're going to do it, you're wrong on both counts, okay? The other place is in the Ukraine. The Ukraine had about close to a dozen places where they were doing this the research, the same kind of research that was being done at Wuhan. And they most all of them got taken out by bombs in the last couple days. I think that's an amazing coincidence that of all the places they could have attacked, they would attack these places because they didn't want to see another scamdemic. Because you see, just a couple of days ago, Bill Gates came out and said there's going to be another one. He said almost in a sad way that the Omicron variant came along and pretty much killed everything. Well, yeah, it killed the idea of the variant, of any more variants coming out. It killed the idea that people are going to keep dying from this horrible disease, which is what people have been getting you to believe, rightly or wrongly, that it's going to keep getting worse. More variants are all going to be worse, which is contrary to science, which they tell you to believe, because science says when you have a variant to something like this, it tends to get weaker and weaker and weaker as it goes on and on and on, just like Omicron was very weak. However, Bill Gates said very sadly that it was dead. What was dead was not the idea of having a major killer out there. What was dead is the fact that no longer could they count on Omicron and what came in with the most recent thing. So he said there will be another one. Well, considering that he's just a computer geek, how does he know there will be another one? You answer the question. It requires some thought. Think about it. Why would they do that? Why would they want you to take a shot which says to you, even if you take the shot, you can still give this to other people, and you can still get it from other people. Oh yeah, but if you get it, it won't be as bad. Well, that's a matter of opinion. That's not a matter of medical science, and there are no papers to back that up. That's why I say the time has come for us all to start thinking again, using the brains that God gave us for what he gave them to us for. They're there so we can use them, so we can make decisions that make sense, so that we can look at something and not just take it based on what somebody says to us. This will do that, this will do that. Find out, where's the proof? If somebody tells you something isn't right, somebody walked up to you tomorrow and said, I'm going to cut off your right arm, but it'll make it so that you can use your other arm better. Would you let them cut it off? No, I think if you even considered it, you would say, well, where's your proof? Where's your story that tells me that that's exactly the case? And I'll grow another arm, and then it'll grow back, and I'll be even better than I was before. I need proof. Same thing is true here. The same thing is true on anything that you're being told to do by corrupt individuals who want to control you. And let's face it, folks, this is what this has been about, 2 years of controlling people. And I'm going to tell you something. It's not been for their best. It's actually been for the worst. A lot of things they said were for the best turned out in time actually to be bad, not good. And we can take a look, just go back and look at all the news on it. When I say news, I'm not talking about CBS, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, CNN. I'm talking about people who are not in the Kabbalah of power, which is to get you to think one way, even though another way is really the case. I'm talking about people who come out with scientific proof, scientific reasoning. Use our brains. This is what we have them for. If we do not use them, they too, like muscles in our body, will atrophy. and we will not be able to use them properly in the future. So the time has come for us to go back to doing what we were put here to do. Think about what we're supposed to do, the things that Hashem has given us to do. We don't have to think about. We can do those pretty much carte blanche. But other things we need to be a lot more careful on before we just accept them and say, oh, look how terrible it is. Believe me when I tell you, the Ukraine is not as bad as what you think it is, and you'll find this out very shortly. But before you find out, do yourself a favor and see if you can think your way through it and why this would happen, okay? All right, my friends, I know some of you aren't going to agree with what I said today, and I'm sorry. I call them like I see them, and I haven't been wrong yet. Everything that I've been told was a conspiracy theory in the past that I've propagated, that I put forward, has turned out to be the truth. So my batting average is pretty good. You want to go with it, go with it. You don't want to go with it? It's your life. It's your life, and you can live the life you want. Just be careful out there, because a lot of things that we take for granted, a lot of things we do because we're told to, we should not be doing. We should not be doing it, specifically just for the reason because we're told. We need to ask who's saying it, why they're saying it, and what's their proof. From having said that, I want to take the time to wish you all a good Shabbos. It's going to be a great week ahead. A lot of good things are going to be happening. Don't be afraid of what's going on out there. It's all part of a plan. And the plan comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he's never wrong. Be well, my friends. God bless. All the best.